Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to Almost Above Average. My name is Chris McIntyre. I'm the host. Wanted to do a little solo video again. We're going to go through the Lies of the Week, first edition, by author Anthony Christian. Lies of the Week. This is how disinformation spreads, and this is how we stop it. Lies of the Week. Coordinated, contained, repeated. Nobody is tracking these lies in a way that matters. The only people pushing back are the base. And as we've said before, our truth doesn't break the bubble unless it's strategically weaponized. Factual narratives stay clean, polished, and ineffective. Meanwhile, the regime's lies evolve into hardened belief systems. The number two party in power isn't mounting a counteroffensive. Their new focus is Texas. And yes, that matters. But you cannot tell me a room full of elected officials can't come up with a shared media strategy. They yell fight on the House floor, then show up to CNN with a soundbite and no coordination. Every time you see a viral video of someone like Jasmine Crockett, just know that that moment is wasted because teams of people are not echoing her language. Trump says some bullshit and every single surrogate and pundit echoes a version of it. We don't have that. That is true. Trump doesn't even need to give instruction to his people anymore. He literally just needs to say his opinion in front of a camera and his entire side starts echoing it. That is masterful communication with his own base. Hey, if you guys like what I'm doing, thanks for tuning into the live. Please hit subscribe and help me build this pro-democracy movement, the McMedia Network, the Almost Above Average podcast. We're almost to 7,000 followers, I believe. And with your help, we can get there a little quicker, and I super appreciate it. We need more than legislation. We need language that moves. We need media appearances that hit like strikes, not size. Because while we stay polished, the other side builds lies that stick. Lie number one, Trump's economy is booming. God, I hear this every time he's on TV, he says that. The economy has never been better before. Everything that he says has never been better before. Anyway, lie, they're selling optimism to distract from layoffs, price hikes, and the firing of the guy who told the truth about job growth. I think it was a woman. Truth, this isn't a comeback, it's a cover-up. Use this. They fired the guy who reported bad numbers. That's not growth, that's fraud. And the final take. When we land a segment on legacy media, that's the moment to swing, not stall. We need 10 plus electeds on the circuit per day, hammering a coordinated message. This isn't just about presence, it's about discipline. If the GOP gets the same story out of every mouth, why can't we? We can't because we're not working together. The Democrats aren't talking to each other about messaging. They each have their own message and they're going out and pushing it and no one's coordinating it and trying to do it together. Lie number two, the Republicans keep pushing. Tariffs help working Americans. That's a lie. They're calling taxes on working families a win. That $50 billion price tag didn't come from China. It came from you, the taxpayer. We all paid those tariffs. They're celebrating collecting all this money in tariffs. We paid it. I paid it. You paid it. They're not taxing China. They're taxing you and calling it patriotism. Use this instead. Tariffs are just inflation with a flag on it. We have 200 plus House Dems and 40 plus senators. And who do we hear from? The same five. Jasmine Crockett stood on the House floor and said, "We're right here," but that's not the point. The House floor isn't the battlefield anymore. The camera is. And our side still doesn't know how to fight in front of it. And I agree with that. Lie number three, the National Guard is protecting California. That's a lie. The Guard was sent without request. This isn't protection. It's a legal test run for authoritarian force. The truth, this wasn't about border security. It was about testing obedience. And use this instead. When they deploy soldiers without being asked, it's not help, it's a warning. Final take, Newsom on an island. Newsom is on an island. I've seen more clips of pissed off, unfiltered Gavin in the past month than any other Democratic leader combined. Why isn't anyone echoing his tone? We don't need more governors who can speak calmly. We need more who can speak clearly. I have been one of those voices. The Almost Above Average podcast, I have been trying to shine a light on how Gavin Newsom is communicating. He's actually bringing some teeth into the fight. He's taken shots that Republicans take all day long. But when the Democrats do it, they're considered like classless or it's beneath them. But that's not the point anymore. We have to bring the fight to them. We have to fight like they fight or we're not going to get our message through. So I applaud you, Gavin Newsom. Lie number four, Ghislaine Maxwell cleared Trump. Unverified hearsay leaked by Trump allies, being framed as absolution from a child trafficker. The truth, you don't get cleared by a trafficker, you get exposed. I love that. Use this. If Maxwell's your character witness, Trump's in the Epstein file. The GOP is filled with, I'm not going to say that word, at the federal, state, and local level of every state in this county. It's TikTok bans that word that starts with a P, so I try to be careful not to say it, but it's child sex. You know what the word is. Final take. 2 weeks ago, the opposition finally started shifting tone. They used harder language. They passed legislation. They pressured the other side into exposing themselves. And then they let the regime change the channel. And they posted GOP pedo protection meme. The only problem was they didn't use the base to echo. That matters in this environment. This moment needs more than house floor fire. It needs relentless language on every platform, every hour. You're not done because you posted. You're not done because you appeared once. You're done when the lies stop spreading. I agree with that. It's going to take all of our voices. This article that I'm reading is coming from Substack, from a different creator. I'm making a video on it for my podcast and for social media to try to amplify these messages. We need more people like this putting out pro-democracy content just to compete with the MAGA messaging. Number 5. Adam Schiff is under DOJ investigation. That's a lie. A narrative smear with no proof, no filing, just air. When they can't clear Trump, they try to stain everyone else. They've always been afraid of Adam. That's why he's a target. Scared, petty, weak humans is what they are. Schiff's posting daily. He's got the fire. He's always been Trump's fear signal. But even he needs to drop the gloves. His team gets the moment, but they're still calibrating for decency in a war with thugs. It's time for strategic escalation. Please. I agree with that. I also follow Adam Schiff on YouTube, and he has been doing a good job about trying to change the narrative, but what Anthony's saying in this article is like he's not bringing the teeth like Gavin Newsom is. Like Gavin Newsom is taking shots at Trump and other Republicans that we would consider like, oh my God, I can't believe he said something like that. But that's the entire strategy of the MAGA movement. It's just say the wildish, most hurtful and offensive shit, but the moment a Democrat tries to do it, there's this weird shame. Like it's completely different, what do you call it? Standards. 2 different standards. Lie number 6. Americans keep spending so the economy is fine. People are spending because prices are high, not because the economy is strong. They're not thriving. They're swiping to survive. Rising prices equals rising prosperity. Only in a MAGA world of billionaires is the economy working. It's not working for all the federal employees and the regime the regime laid off from NOAA, USDA, SS, and the Pentagon. Social Security and the Pentagon. Warren went on CNBC and our side celebrated. But we're still losing the same language on the same regime-aligned platforms, expecting a different result. This isn't about having good points. This is about disruption, clarity, discipline. Take the fucking gloves off. Lie number 7. Corporations need more security because of rising threats. They want you to believe the executive protection is about safety. It's about visibility and truth. They're not afraid of violence. They're afraid of being seen. Security spending doesn't mean danger is rising. It means regime fear is. The regime is afraid of Americans, for sure. Look at how the Epstein thing is kind of taking over the country right now. In some kind of, I wouldn't say sick way, but in a little way, it is bringing the MAGA closer to the left and the left closer to the MAGA. It's kind of unifying in that sense, as we all hate what Jeffrey Epstein and what we think Donald Trump did with these young girls. Number 8. Most voters believe the Obama admin committed crimes. Weaponized polling to create false historical consensus. They're not uncovering crimes, they're erasing the crime scene. Polls don't equal justice. This is propaganda in numbers 4. I wrote this last week in How to Weaponize Polling. Stop using polls to panic. Start using them to mobilize. And for fuck's sake, stop letting consultants stick to 2020 playbooks. They failed then, they'll fail harder now. If you don't get your heads out and evaluate the real terrain here, all of us will pay the price for your inadequacy. The Maxwell narrative is hardening, and they're letting it happen. 2 weeks ago, Anthony Christian warned this would come. Trump allies are using Ghislaine Maxwell as a shield, not just to deny his involvement in Epstein's network, but to avert guilt itself. Now it's everywhere. Fox, OAN, Telegram, Twitter, and the new storyline, Trump's innocent because the trafficker says so. The DOJ backs it up. Obama and Clinton are the real criminals. They've been saying that since this began. I have a theory that the reason that we kind of think of the Clintons involved in a potential murder of Jeffrey Epstein, was because Trump made that up. And that sounds like something you would make up, look over there so you can cover up your own crimes. I think this is very conspiratorial, and this is not based on any fact. But that seems like Trump has the most to benefit from Epstein disappearing. What does that say about how Epstein died? If everyone thinks it wasn't a suicide, maybe it was Trump. He seems to be calling everybody else, blaming everybody else. That's the common practice of a liar, projection. Anyway, sorry for the rant. No pushback from our pundits in coordination with leadership, no counter-narrative from the opposition at scale, no attempt to reframe that lie before it spreads. This is how lies become history, not because they're believed, but because no one fights for them. This fact should have been treated like the Texas gerrymandering fire we saw yesterday. Why? Because it's what their base needs to fill the lies in their own heads. And we don't do a good job on our side feeding and disrupting. Final call to action. Coordination is all that matters now. If the institutions won't stop it, we'll expose it. Maxwell didn't clear Trump. She confronted the rot. She confirmed the rot. We are past the time for Democrats to start humiliating this regime on the daily. It's crazy that forcing him into boxes in anger is not a strategy by the number 2 party in power. To this day, I have seen one meme from the Democrat that says, "Your healthcare ends on January 2nd, 2027. No billboards and no targeted ads that grow dissent at scale." At some point, the base has to stop carrying the message and start being used as the hammer. Until we just keep passing around our own shit and echoing each other. And if you've made it this far, this work is independent, unfiltered, and unapologetically focused on the truth, not what donors or party consultants want to hear. There are no corporate sponsors, no PACs, no team of editors massaging the message, just strategy, clarity, and guts. Published week after week to help people fight smarter. If you want to help amplify this work and build the infrastructure to fight disinformation and disconnection, becoming a paid subscriber makes that possible. I'll link to author Anthony Christian in the show notes, but I subscribed to him a while ago, and I read everything that he puts out, and I connect with a lot of them. So, when I see articles like that on Substack that have a different point of view than mine, I like to bring that to you and kind of share other perspectives that maybe some of us haven't thought of yet. Definitely I didn't think of yet. Hopefully you like it. I'll link to him in the show notes. My name is Chris McIntyre. This is the Almost Above Average podcast, produced by the McMedia Network. On YouTube, follow us on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat. I'm sure I missed a couple. TikTok. Follow the McMedia Network on all those. And we will see you when the next dumpster fire starts and we have to talk about it, which the way shit is going now, it's probably going to be in another 15 minutes. So I'll see you very shortly on the next crazy news thing that hits. All right? Peace.